Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go! Crucible time for Division S Europe. Pretty important here, this is Division S Season 2 qualifier for Europe, not North America. As I mentioned in pretty much every single video, there is a difference in the way that teams qualify here, but this is the Crucible, the final tournament for the Europeans to finally determine the 4 teams that make it into Division S for Season 2. But before we head into that, let's introduce our players here. Game number 1, the best of 3. Feel the heat with X-Ray on Rhaegar, Dino on Genji, Topos on Hanzo, Blade on Leoric, and Wit on Johanna. And to the right side, go next with Kelvin on Liming, Ultralisk on Abatha. We have Sky on Ana, Sir Ice Cream on Mal'Ganis, and Fury on Dehaka. And, well, this is actually already the winner bracket semi-final. Has a little bit to say about the entire setup. So, first of all, again, there's going to be a lot of information. I apologize in advance as the teams are going for the first mid lane brawl a little bit here. But this is the Crucible tournament, which means that if you paid attention throughout the last few weeks, you know that there were a lot of qualification tournaments for Division S Season 2. And as I stated, in all of those, you just gathered points so that you could then secure your spot in the Crucible in this final tournament here in order to finally make it into Division S. And that's exactly what the teams are trying to do here. So this is a double elimination tournament with 8 teams participating in it that got started. And the reason why we're actually relying on the old Blizzard UI today is because I'm casting these from replays. I don't know who qualified, I don't know the results here, because I was actually attending the wedding of a friend over the weekend. I was the best man and therefore quite busy, so I didn't really get to cast this live. But right now, we're of course looking at this, and what I'm gonna do here for everybody, especially on YouTube, is to cast all of the games where a team qualifies for Division S, so that you have a bit of an idea as we're heading into the second season, who the teams are and how they got there. So this is actually already the winner bracket semi-final, and per definition it means that the team that wins this series makes it into Division S for Season 2 in Europe directly. The losing team will drop into the loser bracket and gets another shot there. But so for the important part for you is whoever wins this one. The first kill goes to Liming. So whoever wins this series qualifies for the second season of Division S. So either feel the heat or go next will secure themselves a slot here. And the losing team, since this is the winner bracket semi-final, has another shot to qualify through the lower bracket then later on. But as it stands, we have of course a couple of things to talk about when it comes to the game itself, and one of those is that we have Abatha in the mix. So with good old Abby being accompanied this time by Dehaka and also Mal'Ganis, means that that front line has quite a little bit of sustain here once the level 13 kicks in too. But I really like what we have on the side of Feel the Heat. I mean, this is a team that we've now seen multiple times. They made it into several grand finals, even though the Kiko combo made it actually well, nearly in every single tournament. I was able to win the series then. But especially looking at players like Dino and mobile heroes like Genji is of course pretty solid. Wit gets one of his favorite heroes. He can play around Johanna here. And now that the triple altar phase is up, the goal of the red team is obviously to at least soak one of those altars and get the channel through. But the blue team is already taking position, and Leo sitting topside. As you can tell, there is already an interrupt attempt against the Abatha composition. You can definitely make plays like this one. This is exactly what they're aiming for. So shots are already getting fired. Leo at the top left is connecting another one, and even with Abatha trying to use a Toxic Nest here, that's another 4 shots right here. So 2 altars. And most likely against 1 at least, because Dino isn't interrupting anymore. Instead they are jumping into the middle to try and see if they can maybe get a quick kill here. But then again, the red team is also looking for another short victory and is trying to take Wit down, who's able to dodge a bullet. Nearly literally. Pretty much dodging a missile there. And is able to get away. But still, early games on Towers of Doom, oftentimes just a little bit more balanced. It's just like the traditional 2-1 split on the first objective phase that we have here. Nobody gaining that momentum yet that eventually obviously try to build up. So we're currently seeing both teams focusing a little bit on the bot lane, mainly by taking the camps. So we oftentimes talk about like focusing on the top, on the bot lane or something like this. And what it means in this case is not only that you have just a good hero presence at the bottom of the map, but you want to get those camps as many times as possible so that you can put additional pressure onto those. Dino protected, by the way, needs to get out here. He's in a bit of trouble. Sips in, and the kill gets secured by Rhaegar as he follows up on the attack. But the counter move against Jojo as she falls. Even more heroes are starting to move in. Abathur, of course, helping out as much as he can, but the backman's in trouble, and Ana is dead. So Ice Cream, on the other hand, takes Hanzo down. X-Ray is still around, and they're trying to get additional kills, especially with Blaze going straight in for the drain. But we're looking at 2 kills against 3. Both of the teams now on level 7, starting to home in onto level 10. But a bit of an advantage still for the team in red. Right now, Go Next is doing well. They have a very solid position at the bottom of the map where they opened up the entire wall and nearly dropped the second turret. And now that we're heading into a single altar in the middle of the map, this is of course going to become quite important. Who's going to grab this one? Who's going to be able to follow through with this? There's no level 10 yet for Abathur, so the 5 versus 5 happens without him having the extra hit point pool in the fight. But Leo has moved topside, so they're also waiting, and they're having some trouble on the support side. Rhaegar goes down, and Ana might fall as well, as Dino mercilessly goes in for the kill and tries to go for number 2. Down goes Li Ming, and they are absolutely homing in on that. Tobos jumps away before the Tong connects with him. Leo is now moving into the fight as well, so he's trying to participate in the battle. And with Dino already going straight in for the channel, this is another altar in the hands of Feel the Heat. 36 against 28 shots, and we're getting close to level 10. Now, this is a best of 3 series, as already mentioned at the beginning of the game. Blessed Shield is now out, so is the Entomb. And in addition to that, we have Hanzo with the arrow trying to go for the connect here. And they're stealing the camps away. With them having level 10 abilities, that's obviously an easy feat. They don't really move down to the bottom of the map as a unit yet. Leo is the one that actually splits off, and for good reason. Still needs to try and get the experience here. And in comes the little move against the gate. They connect with the pumpkin, so that was important. Tobus is already waiting at the side, trying to see if he can maybe set something up with a good arrow. Then not making that play just yet. Wit also not going for the Blessed Shield. Might have to use it on the defensive side, but Dino is able to get away without any assists here, and that one was rather important. So rotation straight over into the middle of the map from the red team. Now that level 10 abilities are here, Go Next have a few things going for them. First of all, they have now the nano boost on Li Ming, which is obviously hugely important. The Carrion Swarm gives Mal'Ganis even more survivability. And on top of that, the key piece of the puzzle is Abathur's ult when he can go with the ultimate evolution into a copy of any hero here. And this is going to be super important for them. So they're trying to set exactly that up with a double Li Ming. That's a lot of resets. That's a great arrow though, and that's a kill against Li Ming. That nano boost doesn't do jack shit for you if you're stun locked and dead. So at this point, a nice shutdown from Feel the Heat as they're moving straight in for the kill. They get the pumpkin camp and have now a chance to go for the altar that is about to spawn at the bottom of the map too. 5 kills against 4. Continuous rotation now from Blade on the lane as Fury is trying to follow up on it. Good zoning from the blue team as X-Ray is the one going for the channel, and that's now 24 points in the second against the 36 in favor of Feel the Heat. Good control from them so far. They get a bit more pressure at the bottom of the map. They're of course aiming now for that bell tower. But the red team, they have their tools ready. The problem for them was really that lockdown against Li Ming in the last fight. It was a fantastic arrow that we've seen from Tobos there. Good connect, and that allowed especially Genji to just go in straight and rip her to shreds. Slicing and dicing. Good old Genji with the Dragon Blade here. Really well. And Dino at this point has to zip out as Fury is moving in with Abathur. And Abathur, of course, is offsetting anyone versus one quite easily. If you have that symbiote on top of you, you are just so much more powerful. But they are still falling behind in kills. They're falling behind in experience. Level 13 talents now on both sides. But we haven't really seen a bell tower being converted, and as all of you know, obviously, having a lead in the game on core points doesn't really matter too much if in the late game you all of a sudden lose control of the macro aspects of the game. That is a nice connect though. Yeah, Genji takes the camp, goes in. I don't think that they can do too much here, but they're forcing the essence, and they're getting a lot of damage onto him. since the Entomb is on a really low cooldown, and there's nothing really he needs it for anytime soon. That wasn't even a wasted ult. As you can tell, even with the objective spawning shortly after he used it, that doesn't matter, since he only has 27 seconds until it's back. So that's absolutely perfect for them. And that really threatened Dehaka a lot, and at least relieved him from his essence, so that was a good one. Yeah, that was actually quite nice. So with this set, here comes the additional poke against them. And now with the double altar, it's traditionally just an even split. One on the left, one on the right is usually all you get there. And at this point, this is pretty much what's going to happen, unless Blade thinks that he can achieve a bit more here. Has to ghost away, channel already went through, 4 shots fired, 4 shots on this side, no big problem. And at the bottom of the map, we have the teams now focusing again on the bot lane. In this case, taking the pumpkin camp down so that the last turret doesn't fall and that there's no actual damage against the bell tower. Top side, Leo has to deal with Fury, but that's exactly the problem. When Abathur is there and helps you out, you're in trouble. And Blade has already lost quite a bit on hit points, so he needs to be careful with this. But the rest of the team is focusing onto the mercenary camps again. And they still hold that level lead over their opponent thanks to the better rotation on lane and the additional kill that they got. With 32 points against 20, a real comfortable lead now in the game for Field Elite. And this is the final match for one of these two. They've come so far. They've fought week after week to make it into the Crucible here, to be one of the final 8 teams that participate in this Crucible, in this final qualifier for Division S for Season 2. And now they are just 2 map wins away from making it into the 2nd season of the highest level of amateur play in Heroes of the Storm. At this point, everybody is already starting to jump in with level 16 around the corner. The red team wants to force the fight before it's ready. Nice move here. Blessed Shield being used to stop Fury cold. Genji comes in, starts to slice and dice, but has to move out. Isolation hit him, but so did the Ancestral. Nice save here. And a Gather Drag connects. Dehaka with one after another. Kelvin in trouble though, and Blade moves in, wants to kill Kelvin, waiting for the cooldown, but he gets Hanzo'd. And that's the end of Li Ming. Blade able to move out even, and that's just a bit of a disaster right now for Go Next as the triple altar spawning. They already lost the first one, they might lose another. Dehaka goes down, no counter kill just yet, and with a big invade they're going for Sky, and that's Ana getting destroyed too. They're trying to even get a bit more out of this, but you can already tell that Dine used to say, like, screw all of that, I'm gonna go straight in for the altars, and they're gonna get all 3 of them. This is rough. This is really rough. 4 shots are already fired. Tobos is now going straight in for the 2nd channel. That's another set of shots fired. Leo zoning them out a bit, sacrifices himself, activates the trade value. And why wouldn't he? And over here towards the top, there's another 4 shots on the way to the core. That's 8 points, single digits for the red team. Nicely done so far from Field Elite. The game not over yet, but the advantage is obviously quite significant. Nearly 2 levels ahead at this point. Really good numbers also. 40,000 damage on Tobos and Hanzo alone. And that against Abathur with 30k plus Li Ming, who also was really able to pack a bit of a beating here. Dime even has to move away. Look at that. Fury comes in with the Abathur head and easily steals the camp away. But is that really the turnaround? Doubt it slightly, to be honest. It's even talents. I mean, this is a good thing for them now. It's even talents at least. So if there ever was a chance to start a bit of a comeback, it's now. And they're trying to set up another kill against Leoric in this case. Doesn't quite work out. Ice Cream comes in too. Dine immediately jumps out. And Blade can't. Blade is gonna die here. He's trying to get a bit more value by dropping the Entomb and keeping the opponents in range of the turrets to drop some extra damage on them. But he falls. The problem is that that rotation obviously came at a cost. Abathur is popping one mule after another on the bell towers, but with now pumpkins moving through the bot lane too, that is a threat. And over here, Ana might be in trouble, slowed by Leo's ghost, and there's a blessed shield over the wall, and that's the end of the support. Ana down, in comes the kill against Li Ming, and the Dragon Blade on Genji just does a lot. With Hanzo, the 2 Shimada brothers are united, and they are just dropping target after target. In this case, the isolation also missed as Dehaka was trying to throw it out with the essence. He's attempting to keep himself alive a bit longer. At least Hanzo gets killed, so Abathur is doing a good job there. The slug proving to be vicious once more, But now with only 2 heroes, one of them Avatar on the map and a double altar, this should be the end for the team in red. They're trying to get to X-Ray. A good Entomb prevents them from that happening. That's going to be 4 shots fired. Easy peasy, and with a rotation towards the bottom of the map. Even with Wit maybe falling here. And he even survives. We have now all the tools in the basket of Feel the Heat to end game number 1, and that's exactly what they do. The lead in the best of 3 series, yet the winner bracket semi-final goes to Feel the Heat as they are victorious on Towers of Doom. GG, and well played. Game number 2, everybody. Feel the Heat in the lead against Go Next here at the Crucible for Division S Season 2 in Europe. And on the left side, we have the team in blue on Battlefield of Eternity with X-Ray on Malfurion, Tobos on Liming, Blade on Blaze, Dino on Hanzo, and Wit on Diablo. Interesting to see Wit on Diablo on this map here in particular. On the right side of the map now, Sky on Rhaegar, Ultralisk on Samuro. For Go Next, we have Kelvin on Vala, Fury on Oriel, and Ice Cream on Tyrael. It's the Hoodie team. Look at that. Vala, Oriel, and Tyrael. Team Hoodie. Yeah, but either way, obviously, for them, it means if they are able to win 1 more map, then they are qualified for the 2nd season of Division S. And as I already mentioned previously, there's like 4 slots that currently get played out here. And there's a 4-man topside that tries to deal with the turret, and Blade shuts that down instantaneously. Obviously, there's a little bit more to it too, because the rest of the blue team rotated very quickly towards the top of the map to ensure that this is not going to happen. If you have said, oh, Vala is down already. Hanzo is down. Yeah, Vala taking him apart. That was well done. So it seems like the pressure from Go Next is definitely starting to show some results. Tobos is the one who's sitting at the bottom of the map against Ultralisk, but of course only for a little bit of time, as Blade is rotating down now to deal with the situation here. So Tobos is a little bit of a placeholder to soak the experience until finally someone can take over that has even a chance against Samuro, which is exactly what we're currently seeing here. But at this point, we also have the Soul Shield on Diablo on level 1, oh my dad. There's a bit of pressure topside, but in this case the root from Malfurion didn't connect with Rhaegar, so they couldn't follow up on that in any way. But there's obviously quite a bit on the line. I mean, as I said before, the team that loses this match is not out of the tournament just yet, so their hopes and dreams don't get crushed here necessarily. They will drop into the lower bracket where they have another chance to qualify later on. But obviously, you try and get into Division S as quickly as you possibly can. So both of the teams would love to have this as the last series for themselves in the Crucible tournament. But Feel the Heat, they are the ones that have the slight edge now. If they are able to win on Battlefield of Eternity, then they are one of the first teams to qualify. Obviously, by the way, there are other teams that are already qualified that don't have to go through the qualifiers. Washed Up being a great example. Lauber's Fan Club, another one. So some people might ask, hey Khaldor, why exactly are they not participating in the tournament? And the reason is quite simple. They are already in. They didn't even have to qualify. So with that said, we are looking for 4 new teams to join the fun. And so far, we have only 1 kill. I mean, again, it's not really a big difference or anything. There's a bit of aggression around the camps now, and on the left side, we already see Feel the Heat trying to go for their own camp. Obviously, at this point, there's a slight advantage in experience for the red team, but nothing really of consequence. They're trying with a level 4 talent to make a play for the Khaldor camp topside, but at the bottom left of the map, camp has already been taken, and Dino can at any point steal that away, but the Khaldor camp is claimed towards the top too. Now with only 10 seconds left, question is, can they raise that down? But they have Monster Hunter, of course, and they have Rhaegar. That's 2 great arguments why they should still make a move for the camp, because it's really good clear from them. But obviously there is still a small chance. Well, there's a little bit of a head start for the team, let's just put it like that. So Tobos is moving in, Dino and X-Ray are there. We don't have scatter shot talents taken for Hanzo, but still they are able to take that Immortal down to nearly 50% within seconds. And Samuro still has to do some defense work at the bottom of the map before he can join the rest of the team. As that said, topside looks very similar. Halftime show has been taken. And yeah, Dino and Blade are trying to get the extra damage in. But topside, that's a bit of a different story. There's a massive push coming. And it honestly feels like Go Nexus accepted that they are not going to win the objective. And they're saying like, alright, you know what? We don't care if we get the Immortal or not, as long as we do a lot of damage with the double camp that we have at the top of the map. You can take the Immortal, and that's pretty much what's playing out here. They're trying to get that fort without the help of the Immortal, but that also means that they're going to be up against 100% shields. And that in and of itself is a bit nasty. I mean, Hanzo is the one who takes this down now. And the only question that remains is pretty much how much value will Feel the Heat get out of this one. It travels topside, they themselves lost the gate and they lost the fountain, but can they actually take the opponent's fort down? That would be a bit of a win. In experience, we're looking at a very similar setup now. Both teams are looking towards level 7, and if it drops during this push, it would be great for Feel the Heat in particular, since Calamity for Li Ming is just an absolute game changer on level 7, especially with dominance now. It's the extra survivability there too. But first of all, they have to actually accomplish that. Kelvin is already poking as much as he can. Obviously, he needs to still stay at a safe distance against Wit when he comes to the charge. Yeah, the wall is gone, and I guess at the end of the day, we're at least looking at even value from the two. There's a 5-man defense topside, and that means that Blaze at the bottom of the map can now easily get some extra experience for the blue team. And in addition to that, also start to damage the red team structures on the second lane. And this is doing a lot of work. This might even end with the fort falling, or at least being so close that they can take it at any point. And this is some experience lost to the red team. This is also towers heavily damaged. So, all in all, bit of a win for Feel the Heat. That's a small one. Again, we're not talking about a massive advantage that they're running now. But with this first little push and the unorthodox action that we saw from Go Next here, we have a slight advantage for the team that won the objective after all. But there's still only a single kill in the game, and they're trying to make this a second, and it seems like they might be able to pull that off, but X-Ray is there and saves Wit. So Diablo's still alive, also with everybody else rotating in except for Blaze. There's a chance for them to maybe get a kill too. Doesn't quite pan out that way as Diablo completes his soul quest. Repeating arrow for Vala, obviously also nice, and the pings are getting spammed onto the fort. They want this one. And for good reason. I mean, it is incredibly low. And once you take this, you can also go immediately for the fountain. And they're getting solid damage on it. And again, just a little bit of poke and that's it. If Li Ming, for example, gets a good shot in, then that should pretty much seal the deal for them. Both of the teams now on level 9 any second. And the next Immortal is spawning, which means that the focus is going to be on the camps once more. So that's exactly what they're currently trying to pull off here. Bottom of the map, a little bit of a push from Blaze, and he's doing well. I mean, our little bad boy should probably go for the fountain, but he wants to get the kill against Ultralisk, and might get it if he has the jet propulsion, but he jumps out. So fountain should actually be next on the dinner plate. But the Immortal is spawning in just a few seconds. The camp is also up, but they are most likely going to focus on it after the halftime show has been reached, which is exactly what they're aiming for now. The problem is that by now Vala, of course, has also the repeating arrow, so she has a lot of race potential here. And both of the teams are getting solid damage in, but the red team is still a little bit slower, so Feel the Heat has a small advantage heading into the halftime show. Blaze is still focusing on the bottom of the map and is severely damaging that fort, and Samuro is desperately trying to somehow hold on to it. It's not easy for him at all, and the team is already at it again. And Go Next might have the level 10 ability a little bit sooner than their opponent, but it doesn't really help them by any means. So all of a sudden, that's another Immortal won by the blue team. They get their own level 10s, heroic abilities on both sides now, which gives us Strafe, Sanctification. No real surprises here. I mean, for Diablo, it's Apocalypse. That's at least noteworthy. We also have Twilight Dream for Malfurion, but it's a setup in which I think the blue team is now starting to get severely ahead, because this bottom fort is pretty much doomed. I mean, let's be honest, how do you hold that? Well, first of all, there might even be a little bit more happening. Great ult from Oriel. Sanctification follow-up, better safe than sorry play here. But that's also two important heroics down if you want to have the team fight sustain. So they have to fall back and can't even feel the defense for the fort, but they have to try and set the defense up for this one. The attack keeps coming though, but they lost some very important defensive tools that they won't be able to use in this battle any longer. The attack comes in, all of them are starting to move straight for it, and that's going to be at least the wall, I'd assume. But top side, Samuro has taken down the fort, so that's at least a bit of a win. And they trade a fort for a fort. There's a little bit more that the Immortal is able to do. The entire wall has fallen, but now they're rotating towards the top. They're trying to go for Samuro. Rotates out again. Where is that fucker? Ah, over there. Alright, Samuro is actually on the top right still. Nice strafe, yeah. Need to be a bit careful. There's a bit more to that. Wit hasn't died after he completed the soul quest, so his hit point pool is pretty solid. It's not really too afraid here, but he can't overstep it either. So much for the souls. Those are gone. Bunker did not actually figure into that fight. Blade didn't even use it. What the fuck? He didn't have that thing on cooldown. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see the bunker coming through here. It neither was used to save Diablo, neither did he use it to save himself or buy himself a little bit more time. So that was interesting. As it stands, there's 2 forts that have been lost for the red team. Go Next is only relying on keeps now, but with the extra kill, they're actually trying to get this set up. But here comes Diablo with the engage. Tyrael is already in a little bit of trouble, but still has a sanctification up and could use it. But he is actually stunned out and doesn't get the cooldown through. And that's now 4 heroes down. Li Ming destroying them. Tobos completely ripping them apart here. Getting 3 kills by himself. Tobos just fucked them up in that last fight. Holy shit, that hurt. 4 kills against 3, and the resets on Li Ming just doing so much. 35,000 damage now for Li Ming, and that was just fantastic play right there. And with this, they immediately move bot side. They see an opportunity, and what can I say? They take it. The keep goes down. That's constant catapult pressure through the bottom of the map now. And despite the fact that we're only 10 minutes into the game and the death timers are low, there wasn't really a chance for Go Next to do anything about it and defend it here. So, a bit unfortunate for Go Next. They actually thought that they had the upper hand after they took the kill against Blaze, but now they are falling behind significantly. They are still on even talents, which in and of itself is obviously nice, since it means they can still fight for the Immortal. But they're losing ground on the map. They're losing a lot here. And that is starting to become very, very problematic, especially since any kind of team wipe or 4-man kill would now result in the bot lane getting attacked and, well, the core getting dropped too. So that is a huge issue here. And as I said before, this is the winner bracket semi-final, best of 3 series, and the winning team qualifies for Division S Season 2, which means if Feel the Heat is continuing the momentum here, that they will maybe even walk away with a clean 2-0 victory against their opponent and set this up. As the combo attempt, jet propulsion doesn't connect. They still poke away. There is the Samuro factor though. If you have Samuro on the other side and he goes to a late game, then Samuro can be an absolute nuisance and he can really, really destroy those structures quite quickly. So if they ever get into that super late game setup where macro game is everything and death timers are high, there's a chance they can play around that. There's also a camp now at the top side, which is going to threaten to keep eventually. That's a nice setup, though. Good Aegis again. Nice place from Oriel the entire time, but that arrow was just perfectly timed. And that's the end of Tyrael. But he gets some trade value. The explosion kill against Li Ming. Samuro, wall stun, and goodbye. Samuro down, 2 kills against 1. Blaze is dealing with the top lane as the Shaman camp is doing solid work now. But Dino is already poking the Immortal low as much as he can. 6 kills against 4, still a level, well, half a level until level 16 is going to be a tool that can be used by Feel the Heat. But Go Next is desperately trying to buy themselves more time so that they can get Samuro back onto the field, but so far that ain't happening. Bot lane is another big problem. There's 3 catapults already. If that's ignored, it's going to end up at the core eventually, so that's a huge problem right now. That's a massive problem. Someone has to go down and deal with that, and I think it has to be Samuro. He's back on the map, but he's actually focusing his attention onto the top lane, trying to execute some pressure there too. Halftime show hasn't been accomplished yet, but 16 is so close now for Feel the Heat. 16 is going to be ready in just a few seconds, and they're already trying to make the play even before that's the case. So with level 16 around the corner, more pressure for them. Bot lane, a 4th catapult is going to join the fun there soon. and with no keep on the bottom of the map, it would move straight towards the core, which is why they have to go there. And they do. I mean, halftime show has just been announced. They take the catapults down. That was a huge threat. But with this, there's obviously additional value that now Hanzo gets as they're poking easily against the Immortal. And this thing just hurts. I mean, at this point, seriously, what are you going to do? Look at this. If this is another 100% shield Immortal, then they can kiss the second keep goodbye. And we're not quite there yet. But we're getting there pretty quickly, especially as Hanzo is trying to get more value out of this. Alright, this is an early ult from Oriel that we just saw there. Level 16 talents are by now in as well. There's the Apocalypse for a little bit of zoning. Blaze with the bunker, Liming again with a combo attempt. Samuro is looking for an opening but doesn't find it. Blade is low but he's able to walk away. And the Immortal still has 300 hit points on the red team side. Dino could sneak in, doesn't do it. Wall stun against Tyrael and he goes down. Tyrael down, X-Ray nearly dying to the explosion but he survives it. And now they walk away, trying to salvage what's there to salvage. But going up against level 16 talents definitely does not help their cause. The Immortal is taken. By now we have 56,000 damage by Hanzo, 49k by Liming, 57,000 putting Vala onto the top spot in this particular game. And Ultralisk still playing around the copies here, trying to actually get away. And I guess he will be able to escape. Or will he? They're trying to sniff him out here, and they actually do. So much for that. Good luck, Samuro. He's trying to escape. Rushes away once more. Shukuchi, and we have an attempt by Diablo to hunt him down. But I guess eventually they will have to let him go. I also don't really think that he has to be the biggest priority. I mean, you have a huge Immortal that is walking towards the keep, so you should probably focus your attention a little bit more on defending it and helping it out here, which is exactly what they're doing. 16 versus 16, so eye-level fight again. From Go Next perspective, but they're definitely on the back foot here. They need a win, they need a win, they need a team fight, they need something that really brings them back into this. Vala is going for the strafe, dodges out on the jet propulsion, they're trying to get the kill against Blade, but he still has the bunker if need be. And the Immortal is already chipping away at the keep, and that would be the second one to fall here. But they might be able to defend this. I don't really think so, but there's a chance, and they actually pull it off. What? They actually defend the keep. A little bit too much time wasted chasing Samuro, I'd say. So Feel the Heat missed out on an opportunity to take the second keep down. Vala, by the way, still went into Manticore on level 16, not into the Seething Hatred, which honestly makes sense considering that you have Diablo and Blaze on the other side. So you want to get the extra damage in on the auto attacks that in the long run is going to do a whole lot more for you than going into Seething Hatred, especially if you make it to level 20, because the Farfly Quiver is going to allow you to make much better plays there. So right now, they're starting to make the play bot side with another camp taken, but the fight is there. X-Ray low, but survives. And Blade is sitting at the front again. Still with bunker ready, if need be. Good combo against Kelvin. Navada suffering a little bit. Especially with Liming just getting so much damage in right now and connecting combo after combo, it's getting tricky. There's still a cap at the top side, and Samuro is starting to get in a little bit more momentum. More of a momentum swing when it comes to the siege damage in particular. So it's really trying to take the structures down with the team. But it's all about the next Immortal in level 20. Blaze has to deal with the Shaman camp that has been claimed, so he's top side, which means there's a 5 versus 4 setup at the bottom of the map. But thanks to the fort and the entire wall still being intact, it's an easy defense for Feel the Heat. And the Immortal is spawning again. And honestly, this is one of those do-or-die moments now for Go Next. Right now, you look for the opening, you look for a kill opportunity, and you have to take it, because if you don't, then you know you're just toast. You can't play the long game if you're not winning a single objective, and so far they haven't won any of them. Even with Vala, Monster Hunter, and Repeating Arrow, that hasn't been the case yet. The rotations were just much cleaner. Feel the Heat. There are, as we can see here, every single time the first ones that are directly on the objective and start chipping away at its hit points while the opponent is still struggling for position and trying to determine what exactly they want to do here. So now we have Tyrael jumping into the fray again, but it's nearly halftime show. They need a fight where they need a victory, and they need a victory quickly. There's just no more time to waste. Like, your opponent is level 19.5, another half level, and they have level 20 abilities. The halftime show is already won. You're not going to get anything done here, but just simply watching them chip your Immortal down piece by piece. You need at some point to just go in and, ja, move in for it. Arschbacken zusammen und ab dafür. 7 kills against 4. Samura's trying to play the macro game again, which I really don't mind, but the thing is, you can't lose this Immortal. You have to do something here. So they are gonna try and win a fight, I suppose, but well, there's the damage. Vala gets some in, but also gets stunned out. Nice dodge on the combo from Liming as she's trying to capitalize on the situation. And with this, they're starting to push that through again, straight towards the Immortal. There comes the ult from Malfurion. Vala gets out. Nice Aegis, also an actually really good Ancestral that we saw on top of that too. But they're just not going to do much. The double support setup so far is just not going to do as much as they were hoping for. It was a good attempt. I mean, you have with Rega in particular really nice damage also on structures, but now Vala is down, and once that your hyper carry is gone, you're just in trouble. Ultralisk has more of a macro aspect, so the problem is that the hyper carry can't really rely on anyone else helping them out there, but the setup just doesn't work the same way. 9 kills against 4, now we have level 20 against level 18, that gives Storm Talents over to the blue team. Vala just didn't do as much as they needed her to do. She has sick damage, 74,000, but look over to Hanzo, who through his poke alone has 75k, and then you have a Liming on top of that to deliver us another 60,000 damage to the cause. So that ends up with just being a little bit too much. Double support can heal out a lot of that. There was a lot of good interactions with them, but they needed more pressure on those structures, and especially with Samuro. Always just, I mean, he felt a little bit torn between trying to push the lane and trying to help out on the team fight, and if you win an Immortal or two, then it's a different story, but they lost every single objective in this game, so that was a huge problem that they encountered here, and this should be the end of it. I mean, it would be a miracle defense if Go Next actually pulls this off against a 100% shield Immortal, and on top of that without Storm Talents, and there's Tyrael already eliminated before he can even use Sanctification. Tyrael is down right away. Blade pops the bunker. Here comes X-Ray with the ult. All of them still staying alive. Vala is doing what she can, but that core is gonna fall quickly, and that's a fantastic setup from Diablo. Vala goes down, so does Rega, and the core is going to fall soon. This is game, ladies and gentlemen. And Feel the Heat therefore qualifies for Division S Season 2 as they take the 2-0 victory over Go Next. GG and congratulations to Feel the Heat as Go Next moves into the lower bracket for another attempt to qualify for the second season of the European Division S. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.